Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I fucked the intro up again.
Hey,
I said I fucked the intro up again.
I thought so.
How's it
There's a
going,
little
Q?
delay there. Good. How's it going your side?
Lekker, lekker, can't complain. Believe you've been watching some live sport lately.
Yeah, actually quite a bit. Today I had Euros on. I watched the Netherlands versus Ireland in some cricket. That's on TV here, so I've got a little bit of everything going on.
Nice.
And
Where they playing the cricket? Is it in Holland?
they're playing in Utrecht. Yeah,
Okay,
so they're
nice.
playing the international in Utrecht. No fans in for that one, but yeah, the hockey's allowed fans in. And that was good. Went last Friday to the opening day, and yeah, good day out. Was with a bunch of other Saffers, as you know them, and we had a cool. Our day started off with a few COVID tests.
It's always a good way to start.
Yeah, I had to go get a COVID test done. Wait 40 minutes, got our results, and then we were off to the stadium and allowed in with
Well, look,
4,000 fans.
I
4,000.
haven't seen any live sports in so long that I wouldn't mind doing a COVID test or two to just be able to watch something.
Listen, yeah, it was felt so good to be at a stadium. I think people did less watching and more like sort of socializing with other people in the stand.
Yeah.
Like you would talk about the game and watch the game, and then like everyone would just like randomly start chatting about other stuff because it's just so good to have people so close to you again and like
Yeah.
different
How's it,
people.
how's it, Jade?
Hello, Jade. Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah,
It was
no,
nice.
yeah, I understand it. It must be so weird for everyone to finally be able to congregate a little bit.
Yeah, and I must say, people were um, really like accommodating and listening to the rules. Like the marshals I didn't feel on day one the marshals had their hands too full. I mean, people really like stuck to guidelines, even though everyone there was negative. You still had to, even though wearing a mask outside is not, it's not mandatory, so you don't have to. They
Mm.
asked that. Um, Please, if we walk like in the walking sections, like you go to the bathroom or go order drink, please can you have your mask on? And
Yeah,
once you eat your drink or your food, then you can don't have to have it on, like not at all. So,
yeah,
and in the stands, you didn't have to have your mask on at all, but it was like a household together. So like the three of us sat together, and then there would be like a space between us, and
I
then
see.
big
Yes, yeah.
household. So it
I've
was
I've seen that with the football. You can see it looks like it's almost like whoever you bought tickets with,
yeah,
you can sit with. So either your mates or your family or whoever's there
exactly.
with.
So in the football, I think you still have to wear your mask. Well, luckily we don't have to over here, which is okay. But
Yeah,
if you want to, you can. But yeah, it's quite nice. Like it's only a pest. Like you go to the bar and get a drink, and you're like, oh fuck, I need to like put a mask on. But then when you have your drink, you don't technically need to have your mask on. You can like just pull it down or take it off, and then you can drink your beer.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like, it's weird, but it's okay. Like it was worth it all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so just for those of you guys tuning in, Cooks is joining us in a little bit. He had some emergency at work that he had to sort out. But
Kids are
before we,
behaving themselves.
yeah, the kids are misbehaving probably. Um, so we'll sort of wait for him if it doesn't take too long before we jump into the Euro 2020s. Um, but yeah, I think it almost feels like we had to start this with a moment of silence for Lewis Hamilton. Eh?
Well, let me tell you, I was so pissed off about the Max situation.
Oh man.
And then I actually switched when that happened, and then I heard it was red flagged. I actually just switched the TV off, and we decided to walk to Fondle Park. And Fondle Park was so busy, and it was looking so lacquer. We went to go stop at an Irish bar, and went to go had a drink in the sun quickly. And then I got a notification. Oh, they're actually going to race one lap. And
Yeah,
I was like,
dude,
oh, fuck this. I was like, are you having a laugh? And
it was to me that whole thing just didn't make sense because, as far as I know, a race gets red flag when you're not able to safely bring the cars around the track under safety car, which they could do because they went through the pits for like 2 or 3 laps before they
yeah,
red. So in my opinion, I thought the race should have stopped, or should have finished under the safety car. Now they're going to have this like 30-minute break. And then the formation lap was also counted as a lap, which I didn't
as lap, which
understand.
made no sense to me either.
Yeah, so there was one lap of actual racing, and in hindsight, I'm happy that they did it that way, just because of what happened with Lewis. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, I just think it was a little bit stupid the way they handled it.
Yeah, I totally agree. So at the pub, I just whipped out the phone and I watched the last lap at the table,
Uh,
which was great. And I screamed when I saw him go forward. Like I started screaming.
we
And
celebrated like it was a fucking World Cup final, dude. I don't think I've ever celebrated an incident as much, well, in Formula One, as much as we celebrated that.
I screamed and the waitress walked past me and like jumped. And I was like, oh shit, sorry, I apologize.
You
Like,
forgot you're in a public space.
yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, I was busy watching the Formula One. She's like, don't worry. She's like, we've heard worse. She said, at least there weren't too many bad things coming out of your mouth. But I did scream "fuck Hamilton" very loud, and there was an Irish barman, and he was just giving me like the good old thumbs up.
Well, I'm pretty sure all the Dutch people would have been pretty pissed off about the whole Max thing,
Yeah,
because
listen,
that was heartbreaking.
they weren't too impressed. Obviously, pissed off about it, but they hell of a, you know, they like hell of a like impressed. Well, not impressed, but they so like overjoyed with Checo getting his because like I'll be honest with you, the Dutch here, like yes, everything is Max crazy. He's on television like every fucking day in adverts and that, but they generally Red Bull fans, the Dutch.
Yeah, yeah,
So so they were super stoked for Checker, and funny enough, a lot of them wouldn't think of it, but a lot of them are very pleased for Seb as well. And I was
well,
so happy for him.
I think we spoke about it a little bit yesterday, while we were watching, and I think like Seb's one of those guys that everyone likes, and I don't think everyone or anyone would have thought that he would in the whole season probably get a podium, never mind a second place finish. Um, so yeah, I was super super happy for him as well, and even Pierre Gasly, he's a likable guy. I
Yeah,
must say, I was definitely rooting for Leclerc at the end there to pass him on that last lap. But I even wasn't too pissed off that Leclerc didn't get a third spot.
me neither. And you know, I'm a Ferrari fan, so I was like, I just thought Ferrari had the strategy wrong again. The car wasn't great on race day. They were good for one lap in qualifying, and that was about it. But yeah, I thought I was so impressed with Seb. Halfway through the race, I think when he got to about sixth, seventh place, where he was giving Leclerc quite a lot of problems, he was really
Mm,
catching Leclerc. I was like, this looks like the old Seb. This it just had this
yeah.
feeling of like the old Seb was back. Um,
But also something's definitely starting to click there, because last week, well, not last week, but the previous race, um, he also had a great race. So
yeah,
I think something's, and I mean, we were expecting quite a bit from that car, because it's the same car that did quite well last year, and I think it looks like something's starting to click there a little bit now.
yeah, that car's definitely struggling a little bit. It's not. It's other. I would say the other teams have definitely caught up to that car now. So that
Mm.
car's not as like great as it was last year. But I do feel that like I think Seb's driving is just like getting better. His confidence with the car is getting better, and you can see it. Like I agree with
Yeah,
you. Like it must be
and I think that's also that's the confidence that he never had, especially in the last couple of years with in the Ferrari.
100%. Yeah. I was a little annoyed at Carlos Sainz for a little bit making that mistake, but I think you got to give credit where credit is due. Coming back after making such a bad mistake, after having a new set of tires put on, making
Yeah,
that terrible mistake, and still being able to get into mid-table, I think shows you what type of a driver Sainz is as well
yeah.
at the
Look, I
moment.
think the Ferraris, it's the same thing on every track, really. As soon as there's too much of a straight and too much high speed sections, then I mean,
They're in trouble.
Leclerc was doing fine, for pretty much half of the track, but as soon as they go onto that long straight, it looks like he's standing still.
Yeah, 100%. No, so that was a good one to watch. Some nice excitement. What else have we had? The qualifiers have been not qualifiers. The friendly games have been pretty shitty. Like I've watched both of the Dutch games and it was like felt like walking pace.
Oh,
Uh,
really? I must say I haven't watched any of the warm up games thus far, so I've got no idea really what's been happening there. But I
and yeah,
suppose, I mean, the Oaks just all came from such a long, not necessarily a long season, but a hectic season in terms of it was well, in fact, it was actually a short season, but it was so hectic because you never had like more than 2 days break.
yeah, they've been. It's been a tough to watch. So hopefully the Euros really kick it off and things change a little bit there. Um, yeah, I've been watching some live hockey. That's been decent. But I think the real crunch only starts really happening in the next 2 days or so when the group stages are done and you have the knockouts. Then the real
Yeah,
hockey starts. Um,
yeah. There's
yeah,
also been the French Open. I've actually got Nadal's game on the TV here now. Um,
yeah, that's basically happening as well. Forgot about that.
yeah, he's one set up now. Uh, Djokovic almost had a shock this afternoon. He lost his
He
two
was two
first
sets
sets.
down, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was 2 sets down, and then he won 6-1, 6-0. And then the
Oh,
last set, he was 4-0 up when the other guy retired.
oh. So he
So he was
played
probably,
into retirement.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh,
I think
nice.
maybe the guy didn't want to lose another set 6-0. So
Fair enough. I
after
would have
after being 2 sets up.
pull an injury. Yeah,
Yeah.
you had a lovely game this weekend as well.
Oh, fuck, man. So we played against our biggest rivals, Durbanville. And to be fair, I mean, well done on them for winning, but in my opinion, we weren't close to at our best. Um,
I
got
had
a
a
goal that got a goal that was pretty much our own goal.
Yeah. I don't think that one counts, Wally. If you looked at that one,
No, look, according to the rules, it's my goal, but yeah, I won't, shout it off the rooftops.
yeah, that is. But it's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see the hockey back home. Busy going. I mean, school sport is stuffed completely. You can sit in a classroom together, but you can't play sport together. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense. And I must say, I'm honestly surprised that they didn't shut us down now. Um, because yeah, I think we spoke about it last week. Is all the kids are coming to play club now.
Yeah,
Uh, so I mean, what you're actually getting now is now you're just making their circle of contact even bigger.
you go. Yeah,
Uh, so Jade saying, "Did I provoke the keeper?" I actually did banter quite a lot with the keeper, but Aaron, used to play for Belleville, so I know him quite well. But do yourself a favor, go and have a look on our Instagram. There's a great clip of him of a save he made right at the end on full time. We got a short corner and he made a top save. So go have a look at that.
I would say the drag flick was a bit suspect though.
Well, it wasn't the worst flick under pressure. But the
Up
problem is as well. So Rinus that took the drag flick, he used to train against Aaron, and they used to like flick and save. So he probably should have mixed it up a little bit with the flick,
Yeah,
and not go where
gave
he
away
where
his
he
game
usually
plan too early. Played the same game plan
yeah
as what he would do at training.
yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, it is what it is. they probably deserve the win on the balance of how we played. But we definitely take them in the second game.
Oh, putting pressure on yourself already.
Look, I
Like,
thrive with pressure. You know this.
yeah. Yeah, other than that, I think the Springbok squad was announced. I know the guys are itching to do a Springbok podcast. So,
Yeah, I think we'll keep that.
yeah, that will go to next week or so.
Here's Jade asking now about the box squad. So I think we'll leave that for next week, Monday. We'll get
Yeah.
all the rugby guys out. But yeah, let's jump into the Euros. We'll see when Cooks arrives. Um, just really glad that we get to watch football because off seasons are always cuck.
And there will
Um,
be fans at the Euros, which is another great one.
there will be fans. I saw that they were that a prerequisite to host games. You need to have at least or you need to be allowed by your government to have at least 25% capacity.
Yeah.
Apparently, the British government has given the go ahead for 100% for the final.
Okay.
Um, so whether or not, obviously, the thing is, and it's so crazy because they're having this now in 11 cities, and I think they're all 11 countries as well. Um, so I think there's going to be a lot of changes in the tournament, possibly with regards to the rules and traveling
Yeah,
restrictions and shit.
I think a lot's got to do with it. Like, so there's a few games, obviously, here in Amsterdam at the Jan Cruyff. So, um, the only way you're going to really get in is there's still green and yellow and red list countries. So,
Yeah,
like, the UK can't get into here because they're on the red list here,
yeah,
and but Germans can. So it's going to be like where you can go in and where you can't go in, and all sorts of things. It's going to be a lot of red tape around it,
yeah.
which is going to be quite interesting. Um, yeah, it's pretty quiet. I mean, I tried to see if I could find some tickets around there. There are guys talking and saying, "Oh, maybe this, maybe that," but it's all about the capacity size, like what they're going to allow. I actually don't think that. I think at the moment we have 40% capacity in the stadium.
Mm.
Could be
Yeah,
more.
I know I read a thing earlier that where they specified, they said which stadiums allow how many people, but obviously I can't remember all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be good. And also, like you mentioned earlier, with the teams looking a bit sluggish on that at the moment, I definitely think once the tournament starts and the fans are there and whatever, I think they'll pick up. Um,
The vibe is here already. Like you switch on our television, the freaking adverts are crazy. Like it's just football crazy. Like all the supermarkets, everyone. There's about so much memorabilia and stuff you can buy in the stores. You can buy like original, like Dutch, like Oranje mugs and caps and everything, and for,
yeah.
like in the stores,
Well,
it's like crazy.
I think the Dutch are just happy to be back in a major tournament.
I don't think they're too happy, to be honest with you. They're not
It's
too
been a
happy with
while.
how they're not too happy with how the team is being set up and how they're being coached. There's a lot of moaning about that, but it is what it is. They selected De Boer as a coach, so they need to deal with the nonsense. But yeah, it's one of those things. Can you buy Donny van de Beek a game? Unfortunately, Jada can't. So what happens is because we screwed him over so much with so little game time, he won't get a starting berth here because he has too little game time.
Yeah.
So so yeah, we didn't just screw his club career at the moment. We're busy screwing his international career right now as well.
Yeah, well, if you look at it, you look at someone like Giroud, is almost in a similar position. At one stage, I know he was speaking about leaving Chelsea early just so that he can get some game time somewhere. But at least he managed to make the squad now. But yeah,
With,
we'll get
with,
into.
with Benzema back, I don't even know if he'll play. With
No,
Benzema
no, I
in
think
the squad.
Benzema definitely starts ahead of Giroud. Um, I feel so sorry. Yeah, dude, I'm not even a United or a Holland fan, but I even feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I can see. You know what? If it doesn't, I could really see him coming back to the club at some point. But apparently, he's quite a fighter as an individual. So he's quite a hard kid. So he might look very depressed, they say, but he's quite a fighter. So we'll see how he comes back after the Euros in the squad. See what comes from it.
So let's jump in here. So what we're gonna do, guys, is we'll chat through all the groups, the 6 groups, and then we will give our thoughts on the different teams in the groups. We'll see who we all think will go through in the group, and give some players that we think we should watch out for. One thing to keep in mind as well is they're doing two teams. The top 2 teams in each group will progress, and then they've got four of the best third place groups. I mean teams will progress. Yes, Cook's just joining us now.
Oh, jeez. Evening, guys.
How's it going?
Good evening.
Good, thanks. Sorry, I just locked my phone by accident.
Did you get
no
ESCOM now?
There you go. Okay, I'm back.
What's going on here? Oh, I'm back.
Jeez.
I think we have a stream
What is going
malfunction.
on
I think
here? I'm having
the
technical
video is
difficulty.
paused there
Yeah.
or stuck.
I think Cooks has got ESCOM'd or something. Or he's ESCOM'd himself.
Okay.
Oh, there
Sorry.
back.
Hey, guys.
What's up? How's it going?
Can you hear us, Cooks?
Okay. Can you guys hear me? I see you.
Yeah.
Hey, we can hear you.
Oh, man, sorry. I was having technical difficulties there.
All good. How's it going, bro?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, been a good weekend. But yeah, great to long Monday, but yeah, all good. And you guys well?
Yeah, I can't
Good.
complain, man.
Jeez.
Did you
Yeah.
beat those kids? Oh, taking a sip without taking the cap off. It's a very long Monday, man.
Yeah.
Been
That's
a
a
very long one.
Yeah, no, to do some hostel stuff, but the kids are all different.
Hey,
Jade, when you,
Cooks is a Champions League champion. He's allowed to do what he wants.
yeah, I can do what I want. Jay's just like can wear my shirt today. He's lucky it's in the wash. After wearing it for 2 weeks, after wearing it for a week straight, I had to eventually get it washed.
Yeah. So, Cooks, we were just about to get into the Euros. I almost said UEFA, Euro 2020. You excited for some international football?
Yeah, definitely am. I do enjoy. I think I'm one of the people that enjoy international football when there's no club soccer as well, so that you don't worry about your players getting injured and your club players having
Yeah.
to flip and also when they take away a Premier League game, so you can watch the 95th international friendly between England versus the Faroe Islands, where they're playing squads of 60 players. So it's gonna be great to get. It's gonna be great to get into the tournament. Always enjoy the big tournaments, and I think this is the most competitive Euros it's been in a while. So really excited to see. Yeah, really excited for the competition to kick off. I think there's gonna be some really good football coming up in the next month.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. So we'll jump straight into Group A. We've got. Sorry, I'm reading off notes here. We've got Italy, Switzerland, Wales, and Turkey.
Ooh,
Your thoughts on Group A?
yo, it's one of those groups where like all 4 sides can win it. Actually, that's the big thing. I mean, like if Turkey turns it on, they'll have a decent side. I mean, Wales have got Bale. And obviously Italy should be the favorites. But listen, I wouldn't be surprised if any one of those 4 sides win the group. What do you think, Higgs?
Yeah, I think the Italians have turned a slight. I don't want to say turn a corner because that means they'll go and win it, but they have improved quite a bit in recent times. I mean, like they're getting sort of results back. I mean, they're not the. I don't think they're the feared Italy that we used to. But that there's some decent players there. I think they'll win it. I think your second place is the interesting one. Switzerland's always they do love a good knockout tournament, does Switzerland.
Yeah.
And they got some handy players around. But then you look at Wales, there's a few handy players around, but not but a different coaching staff there with not gigs over there. So you've got the assistant coach taking over. How fit is Bale really? That's another thing. How fit is Aaron Ramsey really? That's a weird one. And Turkey is always that team that can upset you in that game. So I'm going to go between Turkey and probably Switzerland for that second spot in that group.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I've also got it as Italy favorites to win it, with Turkey probably coming in second, and really actually quite excited to see what Gareth Bale has to offer, because we've sort of seen him very up and down, the last couple of months, well, years probably. So I think he's gonna possibly either make it or break it for that Wales side.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think if he doesn't rock up, then I don't see Wales doing too much. But yeah, I mean, I'm going with Italy to win it and Switzerland to come second. Like Keek said, they love a good knockout tournament. I mean, they always find a way to get through or find a way. And even when they do get through, they always end up getting knocked out on penalties or something like that. They never, like, teams struggle against them in these tournaments.
Yeah,
They had
also
round of 16, a round of 16 quarterfinals team. One of those solid teams.
Yeah. So this is also a great group where you could possibly see the third place also going through.
Yes.
I think we might see that in Group A, and then Group B. I think there's a little bit more talking points, I feel, here, but we've got Belgium, Denmark, Finland, and Russia. So I think that's quite an interesting mix, especially for me looking at the Belgian side. You almost get the feeling that they should now be starting to look at winning stuff, but also they also aren't looking as strong as they perhaps have, a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and I feel that
football's
this could
Proteas. Football's Proteas.
Yeah, it almost feels like you can compare their sort of golden generation now to that of England a couple of years back, where on paper they've had a strong side, but they haven't really performed as many people think they should.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you look at Belgium, but you look at Belgium, I think this is probably the weakest they've been going into tournament for a while, because you look at Hazard hasn't been the same since, if you look at 2018 compared to now. I mean, Hazard is not the player he was in 2018. I mean, I think arguably you'd say Kevin De Bruyne and Lukaku are the only ones out of the big players who've actually improved since 2018. But then it's again, how fit is De Bruyne actually? I mean, like, he did miss a couple of games before they put the Champions League final and he was injured. So, like, I don't know, like, the defense, I mean, for Tongans, I mean, Thomas Vermeulen's in. I mean, like if this was 2014, I'd be like, okay, cool, maybe this is your Belgium going to shot. But I think that golden generation is starting to sort of dip out of and trying to find some and try to find some, what do you call it, some depth from there. Like, for me, I think Belgium decided Group 2. I think they'll win the group, and then probably like someone like Switzerland could knock them off in the round of 16. That's what I think. That they look at an upset candidate.
Yeah, I see as well. They try to bring they put Henry back into the coaching setup for the tournament.
Yeah, I saw that.
I see I agree with you though, Cooks, where you say like only 2 players have probably progressed, like really have improved themselves as players since that group. I mean, you look at your others like the Carrascos and the Meuniers and all those, and even like the Thibaut Courtois, like, Courtois and all of that, like, they haven't really improved. They haven't really kicked on and become such better players. So I do agree with you. I mean, you've got I'm pretty sure he's in the squad. He must be, but You've got Tillemans. I think pretty sure he's in the squad. He's been great for Leicester this season. So there's another good midfield. Like those are three players that have been really improved. You've got Dries Mertens, who's been playing good football.
Yeah.
But other than that, like the other players have just sort of stagnated a little bit. So, but I do agree. I don't think they will lose the group. Have you? Who were the other three? Sorry, we had Russia in that group.
Denmark and
Finland, and Russia.
Denmark, Finland, and Russia. I'm actually going to stick my head on the. I think Russia might. Maybe Russia for a second place there in that group.
It's a good shot. I mean, they're more Denmark, I think, for me. They're more Denmark.
Yeah.
You know, Christian Eriksen can put them together.
Denmark down as a second spot in group.
So Russia's also a tacky side to like they're real like really side in a knockout competition. So I'm going to go with them. I think they could be. You could also get a best third place finisher in this group.
100%. Yeah.
One thing I'm
Finland, Russia.
Sorry, Cooks.
I think because the gap between Finland, Russia, and Denmark isn't that big, so they could end up beating each other, and then one of them not. And like I wouldn't be surprised one of them beating Belgium, whether it's a Russia or someone. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
I agree there.
One thing I'm also quite excited about is to see what Lukaku does in this tournament, because it feels like he's now finally sort of living up to his hype. Although he did to some degree do that years back at Everton. But I think this could be a big stepping stone almost for him to really sort of cement himself as a top striker in world football, whereas he's always had he's had the talent but he's never been consistent enough.
100%. No, I agree with you. I think it'll be his coming out party, saying, "Listen, it's crazy. I mean, he's only 20. He's 27. I mean, it feels like he's been around forever. He's 27. Yeah. So this could be his coming out party, saying, "Listen, maybe I'm also to be in the best striker in the world conversations." I mean, he's playing good football. Jeez.
Yeah, but now I just hope that that Belgium can progress or stay in the tournament long enough for him to really put his mark on it.
Well, if he plays well, they will. Sure.
Yeah.
He's one of those players that if he's on form and he's scoring goals, Belgium will go far.
Yeah.
And especially if you've got Kevin De Bruyne, like if he's all right, even at 80% Kevin De Bruyne and 100% Lukaku playing at their form, you've got enough of creativity there and you've got enough goal scorer. You've got a Dries Mertens that could run off Lukaku and play off him, who bangs goals away as well. So I think Lukaku is going to be that pivotal player. If they want to go far, if Belgium are going to go far, he's going to have to be the one firing on full cylinders.
Yeah, 100%.
Jade saying Lukaku with a golden boot. Belgium won't make it. Oh, that's a tricky one, because if they don't make the quarters, he's going to have to fucking score a boatload of goals in the group stages.
Yeah.
Jade is going for a hat trick. He's going for 4 goals against Finland to kick things off.
Which he has the capability of doing that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And also, like, I've had a look at this at summer. I haven't checked out all the squads. But I've had a look at some of the squads, and there's not a huge amount of goal scorers in this tournament. So I think he's definitely in with a shout there. What's Jade saying? Yeah, you'll smash the finish. Yeah. Then next up, we got Group C, which is a bit of a mixed bag in my opinion. But we've got Austria, Holland, who's of course Keegan's side. North Macedonia, which is an odd one, and the Ukraine.
Well, knowing the Dutch will end last in that group.
Well, like we said earlier, Keegs, I think the Dutch is just happy to be at a tournament again.
There's been so much moaning this last 3 weeks about that side and how crap they're playing and them losing their mind that they're playing 5 at the back, and they're like the only person that's allowed to play 5 at the back in this country is Louis van Gaal because he's the only one that knows how to use it. And it's like it's absolutely a like a mess. But listen, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I think that put the Dutch to win the group, as terrible as they are right now.
Well, I think in all honesty, Keegan, I think that must be the most favorable group for them to have been drawn in.
Yeah.
I think with the Dutch, sometimes they need to be in the toughest group because that's
almost.
how things get done. Like in the toughest group, they seem to just when they played in that world, what's it, that World League or that UEFA
Yes, yeah.
league thing, which they played into they made it to the final. They were in a ridiculous group, a tough group, and they walked that group. So you put them in an easy group. They had Germany and they had Italy, I think, in the group, and they freaking walked it. Now you put them against like so-called lesser opposition. Watch them cock it up now. But yeah, I think what's it? It's Belgium, North Macedonia, Austria. Oh,
Austria and the
Austria's a
Ukraine.
toughie. Austria's a toughie. So I would say the Dutch and Austria to get out the group, but I won't be surprised if Austria's maybe pip the Dutch even to the top of the log there.
Yeah,
just on Jade's comment here, North Macedonia finishing top would be a little bit like that Iceland year. What did they make, the semi-finals or
the
something?
quarters.
Right?
It was the quarters.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the quarters. Yeah.
Knocked out England.
Yep.
Yeah, that was amazing. Cooks,
Yes,
your predictions for this group?
I think I'm gonna go with all the Dutch and Ukraine. I think Ukraine seem to be also like they also started. They tend to hang around in these tournaments and tend to be tough to win, tough to beat. But I think the Dutch. I think they're also half hoping that Van Dijk could have been fit. You know what I mean? Miss the season, but be able to come back in time for the Euros. I think if he comes back, I mean, it changes life in that Dutch side. I mean, they go from could they to a big title contender. But the thing with the Dutch is, are they going to turn it on though? Because I mean, the players are there. I mean, the Depay's, Wijnaldum, and De Ligt. I mean, feels like he hasn't played well since he left Ajax. I mean, the players are there. I mean, it's like, can they actually, be able to put it all together? And I won't be surprised if either Austria or Ukraine come second. But I'm gonna go with the Dutch to win it and Austria to come through in second place.
I think we all would have been talking a little bit different if the Dutch still had Koeman in charge and they were on that real rise.
Oh yeah, that's true as well.
Like Koeman was really like getting them on the right track, getting the right mix between experience and youngsters, and getting the right game plan and how they would play football. And as soon as he left Barca, it's been an absolute shit show. So you don't really know what you're going to get on the day at this point in time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that also could go both ways. You might find that they just somehow find something that works, and
it could possibly.
Yeah.
Then we've got Group D. We've got Croatia, the Czech Republic, England, and Scotland. So that's quite a tricky one to call. Obviously, you've got Croatia that did well in the previous World Cup. England, probably their best side that in quite some years, or their biggest hopes for actually finally winning something again.
Sure. I mean, that's a. I think with England, I'll start with England. Maybe I don't know what you guys think, but I really do. Like you said, I think this is the most talented group of players I've had since the golden generation. But I think I don't trust Gareth Southgate. I don't trust him in big tournaments to make big calls. Like, for example, like taking 94 right backs. I mean, there's no need to leave one, like make the decision, leave one at home, like, because like I also, it's almost like in the morning, because remember like those rumors saying that Trent won't make the side, and then the Twitter breaks out. Almost Gareth like saw Twitter's like, never mind, okay, Trent, you're back in the team. Oh yeah, but Lingard, can you please hang around and play in the friendlies just before you go home? But it's like, for me, it's like, because I think England, I think he's gonna fall under the trap because he's got talented players, but can he make the hard call and say, listen, maybe I don't need to play a Sterling, because like Sterling doesn't deserve to play. I mean, he hasn't been the form player. Am I gonna pick the guys on form? Am I gonna make the right decisions to pick the guys who should be playing? Because I think look at the England squad, it's almost like get the best players on paper all playing at the same time, and then almost hope for the best. So I still think England are a couple tournaments. I think they're a tournament away. I think the next World Cup, I think that could be. It's almost like their next, they big fair. I still think they got lucky in 2018, but I think they should come out of the group. I think they'll come second. I think Croatia will beat them. Still think Croatia got a bit of experience. I think Croatia beats them. Croatia finishes top and England second.
Yeah, I agree in a way. Like, I think there's two things about Southgate. I think, one, I do agree with the point where I don't know if the tough decisions, you can make the tough decisions. But I do also agree with the fact that a lot of people are saying, I think he's the best manager to manage this young generation of English players.
Yeah.
I agree. I do quite like him as a manager for them.
I don't think if you had any other type of manager in that England setup, it would work. I think him coming through the ranks, obviously playing and being an England player, but also coming through the coaching ranks through these youngsters and being around these youngsters a lot, I do think it does play in his favor. And those youngsters actually enjoy playing for him.
Yeah.
That's the strange thing. Like, well, it's strange, but it's just like, it's really not an English thing. Like, they really like the coach and they want to play for him. Like, he's gotten all these youngsters that play for different clubs, gotten them under one little belt and gotten them playing for the same reason. And
so that's one thing I was going to add, Keegs, is, I mean, there's been a lot of interviews with the previous golden generation with Beckham and Lampard and Gerrard and those oaks, and all of them say the same thing about their failures of, in big tournaments. And they all say it's because they were so competitive towards each other in the league that once you get into the national setup, you don't want to give too much away from yourself and whatever. And I think that this England squad is especially with the younger guys, they somehow managed to get out of that, because just if you see the way they interact with each other on social media and that,
100%.
You could see there's proper, team spirit and camaraderie and stuff. And I think that's what Southgate has done well. And I think that's what's going to really put them apart from, the previous golden generation.
But also, like you said, like they played together in the junior ranks as well. A lot of them, a lot of them, they played together in the junior ranks. A lot of them, so they spend a lot of time together. So it's not like it's like you said, like the previous ones, was like Lampard, Beckham. They only get together on the England camp. Sometimes the first time they get together and they get play for England. Then, like you said, it's like, and this group it's so different. And I like this group because there's so many really gifted footballers, like ballers, also are good on the ball.
Actual ballers. I totally agree there.
Yeah, like ballers like Grealish and the Fodens, but also like,
I did a count the other day. I think there's about 6 players in the squad that also played in the Champions League final. And that helps you. That type of pressure, especially on the younger guys like
100%.
Mount and Foden and them, that pressure must surely set you up or help you a bit for knockout tournaments,
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think like it's also like, I wonder how he's gonna, because I mean guys like Mount and those Oaks and the Fodens being involved in Champions League finals in big stages, and a lot of them, even like the Grealish, like being involved in like championship finals, big games, and performing in big games, and it's gonna be so good to see. I'm just hoping Jude Bellingham get some game time, because he's an absolute baller. He is. That looks good. Like, and he's 17, and he's got such big
him and if you imagine just having like him and Sancho on the same park together, they are at Dortmund. You have that on the international stage with Phil Foden next to Jude. Something like that. You have stupid like talent that you have. You actually have raw football talent. Like, you got these great ballers. It's going to be, can they get together?
But I think also the harder thing for Southgate is also some of those guys can play in different positions. So it's like trying to like, you can put Foden, maybe you can drop him back in midfield or play him on the left, or do you play so for example, like, do you play Rice and Henderson in the midfield, or do you put Bellingham and
didn't you hear Roy Keane Cooks on Henderson? They're like, why does Henderson?
Was so fucking funny.
Why is Henderson even in the squad? It's like, they're like, he's not fully fit. And it's like, well, then what's he doing in the squad? They're like, no, it's because he brings something to the squad. It's like, what does he do? Does he have card tricks? Does he play good music in the change room?
Does he host quiz nights in the dressing
Does he
room?
host quiz nights for the guys? What is that? What makes him such a nice guy that you want him around?
Yeah. Oh, I've got to find it. Oh, I've got to.
Yeah, I retweeted it. I
It's
retweeted
on,
it on my
it's
account.
on Keegan's Twitter. I think I also retweeted it.
I've got to give
Okay, so
it like.
Cooks, you said Croatia 1, England 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to go England to win the group and Croatia second.
Yeah, I've also got that. I've got England first and Croatia. I really think I'm confident that England could do well in this tournament. I don't think they're going to go and win it.
No,
but I think they'll.
I think they get the. I think they make the semis. I think they make the semis.
I also think so.
I think because they'll avoid one of the big sides. I mean, they'll play somebody from Group C, so I think they might get the Dutch or someone in the next round, or the Dutch or North Macedonia or someone there, and then figure their way out of this.
They'll get North Macedonia Turks. They'll get North Macedonia.
Then we've got Group E. We've got Poland, Slovakia, Spain, and Sweden.
I was all for Sweden until Zlatan pulled out.
That's exactly how I feel.
But
you can just see Zlatan doing his magic even at his
that'll be fun.
Sorry, so it was Spain, Slovakia, Sweden,
and Poland.
Poland. Okay, well, put it this way, big Rob for Poland. So I'm going to go Spain and Poland to go through. And Lewandowski is going to be the reason to drag Poland into the next round.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Lewandowski is going to put Poland in his back, and Spain will batter and bruise their way through as Luis Enrique carries on his Real Madrid boycott in his squad and sees how just going to pick. I don't know, like it's that Spain squad is so weird because you look at the squad and it's like, man, there's some quality here, but you're like, man, it doesn't scare me anymore like you used to.
Yeah,
like there's quality there, but it doesn't like Spain.
The
like,
thing
you know
is,
what I mean? Like,
it feels like they can be very good on the day, but they're definitely going to have plenty of off days.
When you see 52-year-old Sergio Busquets still anchoring in the midfield, then you're like,
yeah, no, 100%. And you're like, it's still like glimpse of like Jared Piqué. You're like, like let it go, mate. Like, like
the time has come now.
Yeah, like you're like, come on, like, but then there's some great youngsters like Danny Almo from Leipzig and players like that. You're like, oh Jesus, I'm good. But you're like, I don't know what to make of the squad. Like, I don't know what like. I still think it takes Sergio Ramos. I mean, if England's taking Jordan Henderson to do quiz nights, I think they can take good Sergio Ramos for some good paella as he gets back from injury, just for some and for banter.
Yeah. So Keegs needs to go in like 10 minutes. So we'll wrap this up with the last group, which is definitely the group of death. I remember when I first went through all the groups, and we obviously started Group A, and you read and you're like, where the fuck is France, Germany, and Portugal?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're in this competition. And then you look at Group F, you're like, oh shit, they're all in the same group.
Yep.
With poor old Hungary.
Hungry to win it, Hungry to win it.
So
9 points, win all 3 games.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is definitely where we'll see a third side go through. And it kind of reminds me of the previous Euros where Portugal went through as the third best side. And ended up winning the whole thing. I don't think they won a game.
I think they're going to go through as the third best side again because I honestly think it's going to be France and Germany.
Ooh, I don't know. I've got France and Portugal to be top 2,
and the reason why I say the Germans are the slight, when the Germans don't look like a team.
Yeah.
Seem to just when they fly under the radar, they are the scariest team around.
100%.
And at the moment they are under the radar, and everyone's like, because Joachim is leaving, and he's past his prime now. He's past his best with the national side and all of that. Don't
Yeah.
write that German side off. There is some real ballers
The
there.
final swan song.
Dude, you got
Yeah.
you're gonna have Kimmich and fucking Kroos in midfield. Like anything is
yeah.
possible.
The
Like
thing is like, yeah.
anything's possible.
The
For
thing
that
is
in
with that German side is they've got a fucking heat attack.
Yeah,
If the Oaks just rock up with form, they can score a boatload of goals.
yeah,
You know, and they got Thomas Müller back. He's back in the squad.
exactly.
Thomas
Goals,
Müller
baby.
in-
Goals.
And they've got two Champions League winners three, but two on attack in Werner and Havertz.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't believe me. Thomas Muller's back. They won't see game time. Those two. Muller's back.
Look,
Germany
I'm
starts
just-
scoring goals again.
I'm just
Listen.
praying. I'm just praying an unlikely prayer that Werner gets a lot of game time and somehow breaks his luck streak, and then he comes back to London next year and he's on fire.
Yeah, that's what we need. Thing is, like, I think like either one of because either Coyote or Werner is gonna miss out for Müller. Müller has to play. Müller's probably like the most reliable one. I think Thomas Müller is
Yeah.
probably one of the most underrated and most reliable players in the last 10, 15 years.
I
I
totally
mean,
agree.
it's like he walks in for Bayern Munich, he basically like gets 15 assists a season. Like he just like he rolls out of bed and gives that like and gives you like 15 assists and 10 goals. And I mean, like I can't remember him having a bad game. I mean, like he just and obviously in tournaments, I mean that's his thing. But I mean, like Portugal, I think Portugal's side is better now than when they last won the Euros. I think they got a really, really good side. I
They
mean,
definitely are.
because I mean they used to feel like they were like Ronaldo or Nani or bust, where it's like now, I mean, like even if you take out Ronaldo, I still think they're a good side. You know, I mean, with Bruno and Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz is I think he's going to be a game changer. I mean, Ruben Diaz and Pepe still got some legs. I mean, Cancelo at the back, Patricio, Ruben. I mean, they got like Ruben Neves. I mean, they got. I mean, I really, really, really like. I mean, João Felix. Like, I mean, that's like you take Ronaldo, and I still think Portugal got a really good side.
My only
So,
concern
yeah.
with that Portugal side is when the going gets tough. Now I know they got it right. They won one,
Mm.
whatever. That was like a one-legged Ronaldo, basically pulling them all the way through
Yeah.
that tournament. But I still think that I'm not too sure about this Portuguese side under pressure, like under real competition pressure, and that's where I think the Germans are going to have it over them in this.
Yeah.
Where there is some serious pressure players in that German side if they really want to play.
Mm.
Like you've got guys that smashed Brazil 7-1 or whatever at a World Cup in a pressure situation. You got like
You really didn't need to remind me of that, Keegan, but thanks.
what's it? Thomas Muller had a fun day that day.
Listen, and Tony Kroos and Khedira,
Yeah,
apparently they're still running through Brazil after that day. I mean, they were just like.
David
But yeah.
Luiz is still lying on the ground somewhere, rolling around.
but
I think-
doing stuff all.
Yeah, blame David Luiz when they act like Neymar died when they had his jersey up as if like died in a plane crash. But like, listen, bro,
exactly.
he's just got a slip disc. He'll be okay. But I think for me the difference keys for me between Germany and Portugal is Ronaldo. I think that's the big difference. It's like, listen, if Ronaldo turns it on with the players that I think that he's got better players feeding him.
Yeah.
I think obviously not. But it's like if he turns it on. I mean, that's your goal. That's your golden boot cannon. I think Portugal goes far. I think Germany, like I said, 0-3 will go through. Poor Hungary was going to be used for stat padding, goal difference thing. That's going to be fun times for them. So,
like Jade said, that's going to be the training match.
yeah, and then obviously like France. I mean, that side is stupid.
Well,
I
they
mean,
won the group, so
Well,
and they got their best goal scorer back.
I think it's
that
testament to
France
their
side is
side
stupid.
that we barely even mention them, because it almost feels like you don't need to mention them.
Well, they brought their best. If you think about it, they brought their best goal scorer back. So
100%. Yeah.
they won a World Cup without their best goal scorer. Really, now they brought their best goal scorer back, and you got Mbappe, who's probably the second best goal scorer, or going to be their best goal scorer. You know, as he continues.
You got Griezmann who's also very good in tournaments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
And then
the
you
whole
got
thing is like-
then you also do have the backup of Giroud, who is very good off the bench, in big games as well.
Yeah, no,
So I
like
think
it's
he
actually
definitely doesn't start for them, but I think he adds value, a lot of value actually off the bench.
yeah, 100%. And the midfield is stupid. Like I mean, Pogba, Kante. I mean, that's just like that's. I mean, that's the dream. I mean, at the back. Oh, I mean, like Varane and oh, geez, like it's so unfair. Like they B side. I mean, and then on top of it, they got like that oak from Rennes. Kamavinga was like 17 as well. Was also like unbelievable as well. Just like how do they keep producing players? But I think with France, for me, I think they almost. I mean, I think they're on that trend of trying to match that Spain run when Spain won the World Cup and won the Euros. Almost put themselves in that bracket again. So it's going to be interesting. But the thing is also with them is obviously, I mean, they should get through, but it's one of those things like they could be battered and bruised by the time they get to the round of 16 and semi-final. Because I mean, like I can
Yeah.
see Germany and Portugal, either of them getting a win against them. So
Oh,
I think
definitely.
there's
Look,
like
it's a little bit of anything can happen in that group. But my predictions are, what did I say? France first, Germany second,
yeah,
Portugal to progress
Yeah,
as third best.
I'm Germany as
I got
second.
yeah, I got France. I'm France first, Portugal second. I think yeah, I think Portugal's gonna be my dark horse. I think Ronaldo. I just like give me if there's one person in the tournament out of everyone that's playing, give me Ronaldo. If you know, give me Ronaldo. Like you said, you'll drag me out of anywhere, except when he plays
Yeah.
in the Juventus, except when he plays in the Juventus shirt. Apparently, because not and when he's coached by someone who started coaching yesterday. So otherwise, like give me Ronaldo. So I think they're my dog horses or Portugal. I think they're my sleepers. As much as as much sleeping you can have with the defending Euro champs as well.
Yeah. All right, Jane. So to wrap this up, let's just give our predictions for early predictions to win the whole thing. I'm going for France. I think I think they've got the squad and the team to go the distance.
I think my favorite is France to win it. Yeah. But if you're going to do a dark horse or something, I think my dark horse to win it is going to be under the radar Germany.
Mm. Yeah, geez, it's hard to look. It's hard to look at besides anyone against France, but yeah, favorites France and my dark horses England and Portugal.
Yeah, I was gonna add now England as well would be my second. I've got a feeling about this England squad. That's all I know.
Yeah, no, it's England and Portugal. Who's your player of the tournament? Or I still think no. I'm gonna go with my gut. Yeah, Portugal's is my dark horse. Ronaldo Golden Boot and player of the tournament, and you're almost like and it says Messi now your turn in the Copa America because it's almost like Messi and Ronaldo like they're doing it at the same time. It's almost like Messi's like just not gonna win one, and Ronaldo's like listen, bro, like I just want another one. I'm player of the tournament. Your turn. Let's see what you do down there.
I'm gonna go with Mbappe as player of the tournament.
Yeah, jeez, I keep forgetting about him.
That's a
I
good
take
one.
it. Yeah, jeez, forgot about
That's
it.
a really good one. That doesn't. It's not so. It's like obvious, but it's not so obvious because you look at the rest of that French team and it could be like anyone.
Yeah,
I'm
true
going
that.
to. Let's throw it out there. Let's throw it to a go. I'm going to go. The old horse is back for France. Benzema comes back with a golden boot.
Whoa.
Ooh, I can imagine that.
Benzema comes back with a golden boot and possibly player of the tournament.
I like that. That's a good shout.
Well, on that bombshell, we'll wrap this up. James, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thanks so much,
Next week
lads.
we'll definitely do another Lions tour show. So we'll get the rugby guys back and see what everyone thinks of the box squad.
I'll see you in 2 weeks, Wally.
Yeah, I'll step out for that one. James,
Lads,
it's been a pleasure.
Cheers, lads.
Go well and have a lekker week. Cheers, everyone.
you too. Cheers, lads. Bye-bye.